Hi there, welcome or welcome back. I'm Maddie, and as you saw by the title of today's video, I am rereading my middle school favorite books. Well, I've already read them because this is future editing me. I am coming here to redo the intro because one, what I had already filmed was a hot mess, and two, my plans for this video took a turn. Originally, I planned to just read as many of these books as I could within 1 week, but then my week just was super busy and I only read one book, but I really wanted to read at least 3 or 4. So I just decided to keep reading until I got through them all. And at least 2 months later, here I am. I ended up reading 5 books, and I'm sure that you recognize probably 4 out of these 5. There were definitely some ups and some downs, but overall I had fun. I, of course, had to do a quick little Barnes trip and haul because I was missing the first book that I read, which is Divergent. So we'll do a little book shopping and then get into the reading. I'm back and looking like a hot mess because it's so hot outside. I think it's like 96, 97 degrees. And every time I step outside, I just sweat and get disgusting. That was probably my quickest trip of my entire life because I went in for 1 book and 1 book only and managed to come out with 3. So, no one should be surprised by that, but I was still like, I was on a mission. So let's do a tiny little book haul. Obviously, I went in just for Divergent, which I always forget that this is on the buy one get one 50% off table. It's just a permanent fixture there. So of course I had to get another buy one get one 50% off table. No, I had to get another book from the buy one get one 50% off table, and this was a pretty easy pick. I got Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. I plan on reading the first one in this series this month, and hopefully this one as well. I have a very ambitious June TBR. And then I also got Carrie Soto's Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I pretty much knew going in that I was gonna buy this book because I've been dying to read it for a really long time, just waiting for it to come out in paperback. And I think it came out this week. So that's my quick little book haul from today. I am excited to go take a shower and get back in this chair and start reading. So I'm only a few chapters in on Divergent, and I'm realizing I completely forgot what this book was about, which is good. As I'm reading it, I'm starting to remember a little bit more about what happens. I forgot like just how quickly these books suck you in. I feel like, again, I'm only 38 pages in, but I am like invested. I just want to keep reading this all night now. I'm very excited for continuing this book. That's all I got to say. It's a few days later. It's now Wednesday, and I think my last update was when I started this video on Sunday. So this week has not gone how I planned. It's just been a busy week with work, so I haven't had much time to read, and I definitely haven't been filming any updates. I've read about half of Divergent, I think just a little bit more. I'm on page 254, so definitely not going through this as quick as I wanted to, just because I haven't had time, and I'm hoping that today I can knock out a good chunk. It's 7:30 right now. I got home like 45 minutes ago, which is actually the earliest I've gotten back from work, so I'm hoping, I don't think I have anything to do today, and I can just read a lot. When I do pick this up, I feel like I'm flying through it. There's really, like I said, not a lot of words on the page, and it just goes by so quick. Because it's dystopian, it gives me the feeling of reading a fantasy book, but without any of the complicated stuff. Like there's no made up things, well, maybe like a little bit. But for the most part, it's like a normal world. It's just in the future, like bad stuff happened, whatever. So it's really easy to understand and just blow through these books. So my only plan for tonight is to read as much of this as I can. And while I have you here, I actually got a couple of exciting packages today. Well, not that exciting, but I thought I would unbox them. This first one is for this video. It's the book that I had to order because nobody has this in store. I'm embarrassed to show this. First off, I remember this book being huge. It's so tiny, but I'm embarrassed. Okay, the cover is a little suspicious maybe, but this is Tentacles by Roland Smith. This is one of the books that I really want to read because I was obsessed with this in middle school. Could not get enough. I don't think that anybody else read this. Like, I was the only one. I don't know how I found it. It must have been at the library in middle school or maybe even elementary school, but I read it for years. All I remember is that it's about this group of people who look for what's called cryptids, which are like mythological creatures, like a giant squid. And I was obsessed. Did you ever have to do AR where you would have to read a book and then take a quiz that proves you read it in order to get points, and it was to get us to read? I think we did that elementary school and middle school. Somehow I was able to take the test for this year after year, and I'm pretty sure that I would do the quiz for this for other kids. I was like, give me that login, I will give you those points. I know this book in and out. I'm excited to read it. It's really so tiny. Wow. This should be an SD card for my camera. Yep, boring. And then we have this mystery package. I really don't know what this is. Oh, I ordered some shorts. But the most exciting thing is this tiny little package that I did not think was gonna come this quickly. It is from Bobby Goods. If you've seen them on TikTok, it's a small business and she makes coloring books and stuff like that. It's so cute and I've wanted one for so long. I think I was having a bad day at work the other day or something and I was like, you know what? Why don't you finally order that coloring book you wanted? So I did. So this was a purchase that was meant to cheer me up and I'm so excited. It just shipped a couple days ago, so I'm shocked that it's already here. It is so cute. Oh my gosh. It's her summer coloring book and it's just so adorable. Cute. Aw, it's got a cute little sticker. It's so cute. I am very excited for this. Oh my gosh, look, they're painting. How cute is that? As tempting as this is, I don't think I'm gonna do this tonight because I've been sitting at a desk for like all day and I don't want to do it again. So I'm going to read Divergent and lay in bed and do nothing else. So I think it's actually been weeks since the last clip of me finishing Divergent, and I never even gave you my final thoughts on Divergent, like nothing. I finished it on June 16th and it's now July 4th and I ended up giving it 3 stars. That sounds low, but I really had a good time reading this. I only gave it 3 stars because nothing really wowed me. I wasn't in love with the writing style and nothing stood out, but that's okay. Like, it just was an average book that was really enjoyable, as opposed to like an average book that I don't love. You know what I mean? There were some parts that seemed silly and like really young. The Divergent part, like obviously she's divergent, and at like the most random times she would just go, I'm divergent. And then she'd kind of think about it and worry about it for like a paragraph, and then it would kind of go away. And it was kind of weird to me, but overall it was really enjoyable. But then I was so let down by the ending. It just was disappointing to me. I feel like nothing special happened, and definitely nothing that sets me up to want to read the next one. Like, how was there not a big cliffhanger at the end of this? I don't know. I was hoping while I was reading this that it was gonna end really well and I was gonna want to read the next one eventually, but I'm probably gonna stop here. In this video, I plan on reading 5 or 6 books. So obviously I already finished Divergent. I'm in the middle of Tentacles, and then I want to read the two Series of Unfortunate Events books that I have, and then The Hunger Games. If I'm really loving it and reading it really quickly, then I might read Catching Fire as well, but I'm not sure. I don't know how much I said about this book before. It's about people who hunt cryptids or mythological creatures like unicorns, Sasquatch, and in this one they are looking for the giant squid. The reason that I'm in the middle of this one, or kind of more like 2/3 in, is this one is really young. I knew going into this video that obviously these are books I read when I was in middle school, so they should be young, and like A Series of Unfortunate Events, this I know is going to be young. But I kind of had higher hopes for this one. I thought it was going to be easier to digest as an adult, but it's a little hard. It feels very goofy, silly, young kid, but that's okay. I couldn't sit down and read this whole thing in one sitting. Hey, so it's a few hours later, or no, it's almost midnight. So a lot of hours later, and I am on page 294. I only have, I think, about 20 pages left before I finish Tentacles, and just wanted to give a quick update. Things are happening. Lots of things are happening. There are pirates, there's helicopters, there are people dying left and right just casually. There's dinosaurs, there's a giant squid, there's whales. There's just a lot going on. There's C4 explosives. 12-year-old me, I'm sure, ate this up. Hence why I read this 10 times. Even with all those things going on, reading it now, it's not exciting. It's not bad, but it's not like, oh my gosh, suspense. I'm not hating it, but I am so excited to just be so close to finishing this. It's safe to say I will not be reading this again. This is going to be my last time ever. Okay, I'm finally done. It's taken me a couple of weeks because I took a break, but I have officially reread Tentacles for the first time in probably 10 years. Right now, I'm feeling like giving it a 2.5, because this is actually middle grade as opposed to young adult. So it's not the book's fault that I'm just not in that age range, you know? But at the same time, I enjoy reading Percy Jackson and Harry Potter. So I don't know. It ended on a little bit of a cliffhanger, which I wasn't really expecting. So if I really cared, I could be persuaded to read the next one, but I won't be. This was very nostalgic and kind of fun to go through, but I am glad to put this one away and finally be done with it. Also, in case you're wondering, this is my little friend that's in my lap. I don't know the last time that I sat down for an update. It should have been when I finished Tentacles, but that was a while ago. At this point, this video is spanning a few months, but I'm finally gonna read another book for this video, and I'm gonna do the Series of Unfortunate Events books because I should definitely be able to get through at least this first one just in one sitting, because look at this thing. And it's only like, it's not even 200 pages. I have the first 2 books, but I don't know if I'll read both of them. It kind of just depends on how quickly I actually get through the first one. I am a slow reader, so it's probably still gonna take me at least an hour. But if I am having a good time, then I kind of just want to read both of them tonight, if I can. If you did not read this series as a kid, then you were missing out. I probably first read these, I don't even know when, but definitely like elementary school. And then going into middle school, I still was liking them. Like I would still pick them up again. And then even I think like freshman year of high school, if I just like kind of felt like it, sometimes I picked them up again. So these probably were like my first ever comfort books, comfort series. In middle school, I'm pretty sure I was obsessed with these. And then they came out with the movie, which I think had Jim Carrey in it. And it was actually a combination of the first 3 books in one movie, because I mean there's not like a ton of content in each of these, so it's cool how they put all 3 of them together, and I loved it. Me and my brother would watch that movie on repeat and quote it all the time. To this day, if someone says pasta puttanesca, or I see that on the menu, I think of this. I feel like that is enough of introducing these books. I should just get on with it and start reading them. But I guess maybe I should tell you what they're about. It's really just about these 3 siblings who find out that their parents died in a fire. And then throughout all 13 books, each one is like a different way that their uncle, I don't know if he's really their uncle or what, but his name's Count Olaf. He is trying to adopt them, but like he really does not care about them at all. He really just wants their parents' money because their parents were super rich. The man has like all these disguises and he's doing all this stuff. He's going out of his way to try and like adopt these kids and take their money. And it's ridiculous, it's a little silly, but I love these and I'm really excited to read it. Oh, look at this! This is so old. Look, I have a little Arthur stamp in this book. It says Maddie is a very good reader. That was so cute, but I'm just gonna sit down and finally start this. I'm gonna read the first one, which is called The Bad Beginning. Okay, so I just finished the first series of Unfortunate Events book, and this was so cute. I don't think I mentioned, but this is definitely a kid's book. Like, I don't even think it's middle grade. I think it's definitely a children's book. Like, I feel like this is what we used to call chapter books. Like when you first start reading books that have chapters, I feel like it's one of those. So it's the youngest book that I've read so far and that I have on my list, but I really had fun. I was comparing it to Tentacles because I was so excited for Tentacles and thought I was gonna love it, and then it was like super young but not in an enjoyable way and I didn't really love it. But this was obviously super young. It's younger than Tentacles, but it was better. It was obviously super quick. I think I read it in like 2.5 hours, but that included me falling asleep a few times and then having a snack and like moving spots. So never read a book so fast. It's definitely very simple, very silly. Like the plot is totally unrealistic and it's just fun. And there's definitely parts where I'm like, oh, they are teaching kids like vocabulary and stuff like that. And I was like, this is so funny. But it was fun. I definitely enjoyed this more than I did reading Tentacles. I don't know if I'll end up picking up the second one during this video, but we'll just see. This one was fun. Ow. I'll give you one guess what movie I just came back from. I know I'm wearing all the wrong shades of pink, but hopefully it's obvious enough that I just went to the Barbie movie. So now it's 10 o'clock on a Monday night and I have to wake up at 6:30, so I should be going to bed soon, showering and doing all that. But I started The Hunger Games. I actually started it before the movie. I only got 18 pages in, and this is my last book for this video. This has been going on for months, and finally I am on my last book. You don't know how happy I am that this is the end. Not that I haven't been having a good time. I just am ready to be done with this and like edit it and get this video out there. So my goal is to read The Hunger Games as quickly as possible. I think it's a little under 400 pages, which it really doesn't look like it's that big. So I'm really hoping I can like fly through this and read it in like 2 days and then get this video out. I think reading this is gonna be a lot like reading Divergent, where I obviously know a lot of the big plot points, but I have forgotten so much about these books and movies that it's going to be, I think, really fun to reread it and almost like experiencing it for the first time. Not really at all, but hopefully you know what I mean. It's like I have forgotten so much of this that it still is going to be a fresh, nice reading experience, hopefully. I really have a feeling that this could be my favorite one out of all the ones that I'm rereading. I just think it has that potential. I mean, it's The Hunger Games. And even if I didn't do this video, I really wanted to reread this series this year and then read the prequel book that came out, I don't know when, like a couple years ago maybe, and the movie is coming out in November. So I really want to just go through all of them and then read the prequel for the first time before the movie. So I'm gonna stop talking about the book and start reading it. I just finished The Hunger Games a few hours ago. No, I didn't really talk about it much or film much of me reading it. Like there was no update or anything, but I kind of did what I wanted and blew through this book. I think I read like almost half of the book last night in one sitting. I just like could not stop. I was really having a good time. I read this on my Kindle, which also I think just made it a bit more fun. I'm really loving my Kindle right now. I feel like that helped me get through it quicker, but I don't really know yet. But Kindle or not, I love this. I thought it was gonna be my favorite book out of all of these, and obviously it was. I mean, I think part of it might be just my brain telling me that this one's the best because it's The Hunger Games, but I really, really had fun with this. This is the one I think I would recommend if you're an adult who hasn't read any of these books. This is the one that I think would be worth reading. It does feel YA, obviously, but not too young. I think it would still be fun for someone who's into like dystopian, this kind of vibe. So if somehow you haven't read this already, please go pick it up. I will say I also was kind of disappointed in the ending. It was kind of like Divergent, where I felt like I was waiting for a cliffhanger, something big to happen at the end, and it just didn't. I mean, the ending of the game itself was a plot twist, and then after that there's a little bit of like a but I was waiting, like I was like, okay, I got 10 pages left, I got 5 pages left. I was like, what is she gonna hit me with? And there was nothing. But at the same time, I still really want to read the next one, and it didn't leave me feeling like, oh, that was a crappy ending, I didn't like it. Whereas Divergent, I was like, what the heck? Maybe that's just because I enjoyed the book more than I enjoyed Divergent, but I don't know. I ended up giving The Hunger Games a 4.5 stars, which I'm not sure if that's where it's gonna stay. It could go down to like a 4.25, but right now she's sitting at a 4.5. This was definitely my favorite, and I'm very excited to get to the second book soon. To recap the rest of the books, I read the first and second books in the Series of Unfortunate Events series. I don't know if I'm going to officially rate them on my Goodreads or anything. I don't know why. I just feel like I shouldn't. But if I had to, I would say these are probably like between a 3.5 and a 4, simply for nostalgia. And taking into account the fact that these are for kids. Like obviously they're not a 4 for adult me, but for what they are, they're like a 3.5 to a 4. I think I'm very biased because I just love these, but these were fun. I think that I enjoyed these just as much as I did Divergent. So, I mean, that's saying something. What did I give Divergent? I gave Divergent 3 stars, which I feel like is maybe a bit harsh, but the ending really just threw me off for this one, I guess. I think comparing it to The Hunger Games, I still was really invested in The Hunger Games and was like ready to read more. Whereas this one, the ending totally threw me off and made me have no interest in picking up the next book. But like I said, I think that's probably a little bit harsh. I definitely enjoyed reading this. I mean, I was laughing, I was gasping, I was doing all the things reading this. So I did enjoy it. I think definitely if someone is in like high school, middle school, this would still be a great book to pick up. It just has the same quality as all the dystopian books from like 2012, where it's just so easy to fall right into it and like get sucked in. And last, we have Tentacles, my big disappointment from this video. I think I was just really shocked by how young the audience must be for this, or at least the way that the author is treating the audience. Everything in this was like very spoon-fed. Like he's trying to spell everything out for you exactly, but then he does a plot twist later at the end because he doesn't think that you caught something, but he gave it to you word for word. So like, I don't know. I think that I really just kind of had a bad experience because I was expecting it to be something that it wasn't. So I don't know if it's really the book's fault. I think it might just be that I had certain expectations going into it and those were unrealistic. But there we go. Those are the 5 books that I read for this video. I think it was fun. It was a little bit weird. It was a bit tough to get through at some points, but I'm glad that I reread these. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's reread these recently, especially The Hunger Games with the prequel coming out. So if you love any of these books, let me know. I would love to know if anybody else read this book as a kid or if it was just me. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.